Thanks for staying with us on Visions. Very excited about our guest, Mayor Todd Strange, the mayor of the city of Montgomery. Having a great conversation with you, Mayor. Just learning a lot, hearing your vision and strategy for the capital of dreams. Now, we've been talking about development, and one of the other things that has been in development is the municipal courthouse downtown.
Yeah. Too many years in the making. We really started working on that like in 10. Some of the bond proceeds was going to be used, but we kept on getting offers for the piece of property that we were going on. Nothing ever really developed, but where we've located across from Crampton Bowl, going to 2 courtrooms, going to where magistrates have got their own private area. We don't have to take care of things in the hallway. Now we've got full-time judges we've not had before. Things are moving quite well through those. But you know, at the same time, we have a lot less reasons for people to be in court. You know, when I first started in the 09 time frame, we were writing 10, 12,000 tickets a month. We had those roadblocks and things like that. We're down at the 5 or 6,000, and it's never been about the revenue. It's always been about change behavior. But certainly if you've got an issue with the court, then we want you to have it as efficiently and as easy as possible, and the new facility allows us to do that.
Okay, real good. Well, as we're talking about criminal justice, of course, we've got our Montgomery Police Department. You know, police work is just really tough work.
Yeah, it's tough. Today's environment, you know, people nationally say that law enforcement is afraid to act because of what might happen given all the events that we've had. And of course, you know, we've had a situation right here in Montgomery, very unfortunate, regrettable, and that it's taken a long time to get into the judicial system. It is in the judicial system. The grand jury has spoken, and now we're just waiting for that trial date, and frankly, I don't know when that's going to be.
Yeah. So, and what you're speaking of, for those who may not know, is the Greg Gunn case, and so we're just waiting on a trial date for that case.
Yes, sir. Okay.
All right. Real good. As we transition, since we're talking about development and the downtown region, you've got a lot of things. You've got new hotels.
Yeah, that's really one of the bright spots because of all the activities that gone on, including the international horseshoe pitching contest that we had here earlier. Yes. Very successful.
First time, right?
Then the fire, right, and then we get the fire combat challenge. It's been back a number of times. I think we'll get it back maybe in 19. But that led us for the last 3 years to lead the entire state in hotel occupancy. Now, whether we do it this year or not, probably tomorrow or the next day we'll find that out. Huntsville and Montgomery are very, very, very close. And I think December is going to put us over the top because with the Turkey Day Classic coming back to a Thursday, that was a relatively large weekend for the hotel, so we'll see. But that's led us to announce 2 hotels that will start construction in the next 30 or 60 days. We've got 2, if not 3 others that we can announce pretty quickly as soon as the contract with the hotel group gets finalized. That's going to give us the opportunity to have 1,000 hotel rooms downtown. That's kind of a magic number. We've got the infrastructure at the Renaissance and at other areas to host a larger convention, but they want walkable hotel rooms in that 1,000 range to be able to do that. So in addition to a lot of the tax that's going to come from the construction, we will move up in a couple of years to that next category. We got tons of stuff going downtown. As you ride up and down Dexter Avenue, you see retail as well as residential. We've just, and tonight, it will be public, tonight being Tuesday. I don't know when this is being shown, but it'll show 2 projects out on West Fairview that we've been working for a good little bit of time. You see a lot of work going on up around Cottage Hill, Hilltop Arms, of course, Equal Justice Initiative with their Peace and Justice Memorial. I think it's like $30 million bucks. The old Winter Place, my understanding is that's going to be turned into a bed and breakfast. Jim Lane now has got the old hotel. It's down. There are a lot of things going on, particularly with the young millennials that are buying houses up there and actually turning that strip into a really nice commercial development.
Yeah. Well, speaking of development now, you've got another thing that you've been doing. It's called the Smaller Minority Business Initiative.
Well, you ought to know a little bit about that.
I heard about it.
Cedric has been involved in that. Really, Judge Price did that with Doug Moore. Unfortunately, Doug passed away about a year ago, I guess, and his daughter, who was part of that contract, has picked it up. Cedric's involved in that. It's giving minority business and small business an opportunity to participate, to be in the game. They didn't have that opportunity. And it's not all in government. It's in the private sector as well. Foshee is a really, really good example. There's conversations going on at the county now where they will join in that. It's the same contractors we're dealing with, and I think the county wanted to be a part of that great success, so we're looking forward to that as well. And I think hopefully if everything goes well, we'll kick that off in the next month or so. And
so you got a lot of people that want to get in the game and want a vehicle by which they can get in the game. I think there's a 30% goal.
It's always been a goal of 30%, and let's just take the courthouse. We talked about the municipal courthouse. We had a goal of 30%. Well, when we first bid it was like 18, 19%. Everybody was proud of themselves, but we weren't where we needed to be. And so from a total fashion of the whole budget, like landscape, like furniture and fixtures and things like that, we were able to get it up close to that 30% participation. And every project that the city and now the county does will have that goal, and that's our goal for the private sector as well.
Yeah. Well, speaking of downtown, you have had a very, very successful event called the Camellia Bowl. And it has just been fantastic.
3 years in a row we've had a great ball game. I just learned late last week that both Sports Illustrated and CBS Sports has ranked us in the top 6. I think Sports Illustrated said 6 and CBS said 5, but it was predicated on the watchability of the game. And that had to do with how it looked on TV, the competitiveness of the teams, just the production, and it's done quite well. And because we've had 3 years of great success with ESPN, then that leads us then to do the Kickoff Classic in August of next year, where we will have the very first football game of the entire 2017 football season at 6:30 on ESPN. Jacksonville State's playing Chattanooga, Tennessee. The second year, Jacksonville State will play a to be determined. And then the third year really is exciting because we've got an opportunity to match 2 teams. And my vision, my goal would be to have Air Force and Troy do that.
Wow.
Conversations in place, we don't have it done, but that just shows that Montgomery is ready to go on big time, and it gives that exposure for our city, the river region, to the entire world.
So for the people who missed that, you're saying that in addition to the Camellia Bowl, there's going to be a new Montgomery inaugural kickoff.
It'll be the first, it's called Week 0.
Okay.
It's before Labor Day.
Okay.
And it will be broadcast by ESPN at 6:30 on that Saturday.
Okay, very good. Looks like if it's anything like the quality of the Camellia Bowl, it's going to be a great event.
Well, the Camellia Bowl first year put an additional $25 million of goods and services in play. The second year, it followed that up with an additional 15. I think it's going to be in that 15+ range this year. It just feels like it. It'll be another couple of weeks before we actually see that. But as important as that is, with the commercials and with the exposure that we get with ESPN, millions of people saw that, and we're selling Montgomery, Alabama.
So with these bowls and people coming to town, you got those new hotels coming in. So what's the timeline on those new hotels being finished to be able to house the people?
They're a 12 or 15-month construction, and some of them will start in the February timeframe. Jerry Kaiser and John Tampa will do that. The John Tampa one there at the old Bishop Parker, it moves out. We get a new hotel there, but yet Bishop Parker goes and puts their warehouse across the street, and we start turning on the lights of a dilapidated center, and now all of that is in process.
Okay, all right, well, we've got a lot going on. Now, I did also want to ask you, I've been seeing a lot of information about the Montgomery Airport, speaking of travel and people coming into town.
Right.
And so what's the vision and strategy to get that where you're looking for it to go? We're
always going to have a challenge because of the 2-hour drive time to Atlanta. One of my 11 goals is to expand air service. We're in conversation with an airline that would get a couple of 3 days a week to New Orleans and then to Central Florida. That's kind of a goal of ours, to be able to expand. We've got good utilization right now. Getting bigger planes obviously is part and parcel of that. Chip Gentry, which is a part-time employee at the airport and a part-time employee at the chamber, is working the strategy there. Bob Hendricks is the acting general manager. He is doing, our former fire chief, he's doing a really good job. Tammy Knight Fleming is the new chair.
Yes.
She's got some great vision, and I believe that over the next year or two, our airport will really blossom, because the 187th is out there, co-located, and we're trying to get the F-35. We're one of 5. Randy Efferson is the commander, and we as the airport authority and as the city and the county have got options for a cross runway. A second runway is critical for military, but it's also critical for civil aviation and commercial aviation. So we've got a really good game plan. We just need people to fly out of Montgomery, and to the extent that we can get 100% people occupying those seats, then we are going to get different routes, and we are going to get bigger planes coming in here. It's a use it or lose it, use it, and you'll get better service.
Excellent, excellent. Mayor, we got about 2 minutes left. I want to ask you, when I was coming up, we used to have a thing that we call the Ride the City Line bus, Montgomery Area Transit System. So you're trying to work on your routes. Yeah,
we want to expand our routes, but we want to also reduce those that just aren't being used. We want to get out Chantilly out to the Walmart. We want to get the bypass all the way around all the way on the bypass, and so there's a public hearing in the next day or two that will be the final piece of the public engagement. Once all of that's done, I suspect then it will be approved, and we can get where we can have bus service with all the technology that's been adding, and knowing when the bus is going to be there, and some of the new shelters that we put up. We're not got first-class bus service, but we got bus service that we're just not ashamed of. We've changed out all of the equipment over the last 3 or 4 years, and we've gone to these smaller buses. It's a lot more flexible, away from these big multi-thousands of dollars bus to something we can buy for a few $1,000s.
Excellent. About 1 minute left. We just had Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and one of the things that's in the news is the Martin Luther King Jr. statue,
right,
which is being looked at.
Cromwell Handy is doing a really good job of promoting that. He's the champion. Somebody asked me why we didn't have one. We've really never had a champion that was able to continue moving as far as the last one passed away. So I think Cromwell Handy and the church will do a good job. We've supported that. We're going to continue to support that, and I made a commitment to that church and to that foundation that one of my priorities before I leave office is to have a Martin Luther King statue in Montgomery, Alabama.
Excellent. Mayor, thanks for joining us on the program. Thanks for this new vision update, and that's going to